Today we're going to be talking about function notation. And here's what I mean by that. Take a look at what's written right here. The way we would say this is f of x equals x plus 3. So you may be used to seeing a y here instead of f of x, but it's really saying the same thing. So go ahead and write down how you would say that. F of x equals x plus 3. So instead of y equals x plus 3, this is just a new notation we're going to use. It's really important to realize that f of x is really just kind of y in disguise. So write this down as well, and this is really important to remember. Don't forget to pause the video if you need to as we go along. So in this example, we're given a function and we're asked to evaluate certain values for x. So you can see instead of x, we have numbers in the parentheses. All that means is they want us to find the value whenever we substitute in 0. So instead of x, we're going to put 0 in for everywhere we see x. So f of 0 is equal to 2 minus 3 times 0. I'm just substituting in for x. And then I'm going to see what this is equal to from here. So this is equal to 2 minus 0, which is 2. So this means that f of 0 equals 2. We'll talk a little bit more about what that actually means in a little while. So over here we have f of 1. We're going to do the same exact thing. So f of 1 is going to be equal to 2 minus 3 times 1. I'm just substituting in everywhere I see x. So this is 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. Go ahead and try letter C on your own. Again, please pause if you need to. Here we have 4 different functions, and in this case, we're actually given different information. So remember what I said, that f of x is really just y in disguise? Same goes for these other variables as well. So we have g of x, we have h of x. All of those really just stand for y, the y value. And so that's what we're given right here. We're given a y value, where in the other examples, we were given the x value. So the very first thing we're going to do is find this function, g of x. It's right here. So g of x is equal to negative 3x plus 1. This is telling us that g of x equals 16. So I'm literally just going to substitute 16 for g of x and then solve for x from there. So here's what I'm going to have. 16 equals negative 3x plus 1. And I'm going to solve for x from here. So I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides and divide by negative 3. So that's going to give me negative 5 equals x. I want you to be okay with leaving the number on the left. It's okay to do that. You don't have to switch it. So over here, I have h of x equals negative 2. Now I'm going to find the h function, which is right here. And that's what I'm going to have to use. So this is telling me that the y value, because h of x really represents y, is equal to negative 2. So I'm going to take negative 2 and substitute it for h of x. So I have negative 2 is equal to 1/2 times x plus 8. And my goal is to solve for x here. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So I have negative 10 is equal to 1/2 x, and I want to get rid of this fraction. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. And that's going to give me negative 20 equals x. Go ahead and try this third example here. And I'm going to be checking your notes when I collect them for that as well. So this is a little bit different. Now we have a table of values and it wants us to fill in this table and then sketch the graph. So don't forget to put arrows on each axis. So this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, and let's go ahead and label maybe by fives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4. And you can just do a quick sketch of this in your notebooks. And you certainly don't have to fill in the grid as you see here. So when we evaluate, this is a table of values here. When we go to figure out this part of the y values, we're just going to substitute in these values for x. So when I substitute in -6, I would have 3 times -6 minus 4. So that's going to be -18 minus 4, or -22. So that means that when the x value is -6, the corresponding y value is -22. So whatever's inside the parentheses represents the x value, and whatever that is equal to, whatever value that you get, is equal to the y value. So we're going to do the same thing with -3. So let me just do this. So I'm going to substitute in for x. I would have 3 times -3 minus 4. So I have -9 minus 4, or -13. When I plug in 0, I have 3 times 0 minus 4, which is 0 minus 4, or -4. Fortunately, I think I'm going to run out of graph for those first 2 points. All right, now I have 1, so I have 3 times 1 minus 4, 3 minus 4, which is -1. Now this one's different. We're not given the x value, we're given the y value. So I'm going to take that -5 and substitute for our y value, or f of x. So I have -5 equals 3x minus 4. And I'm going to solve for x from here. So that's going to give me -1/3 is equal to x. So I'm going to go ahead and plot these points. I can't plot the first 2 because I don't have enough graph, but I'm going to plot 1. Remember, when you plot a point, you're always going to do the x-axis first and then the y-axis. So we're going to go to 1, -1. Oh, I forgot the 0, -4. We have 0, -4. And then -1/3 is just going to be a third of the way right here, and -5. So this is a linear function. You should get a straight line when you plot these points. So I have a tool to use. You may want to use a ruler or a straight edge. And whenever we graph a line, don't forget to put arrows on the ends. So that's what the graph is going to look like. One more thing I want to show you about function notation, and that's just coming up with some ordered pairs. So as I said just a little while ago, whatever's inside the parentheses, that's going to be your x value. Whatever the output is, so this would be the input, this would be the output, that's your y value. So that's our ordered pair, -1, 1. Just go in order, exactly how you see it. So this one's going to be 2, 7. This one's going to be 1, -1, and you can come up with the last one. Please make sure you put your name at the top of your notes. I will be collecting them tomorrow.